makers, ISDB group entities, Aspromo, TIGA, and WIPA to exchange practical tools, peer experiences, and global benchmarks. It focuses on moving beyond FDI volume toward quality investments that support SDGs, job creation, economic diversification, investor aftercare, regional value chains, and cross-border investment opportunities. Before inviting the moderator, we'll first hear the opening remarks. Please welcome His Excellency Dr. Khalid Khalafallah, Chief Executive Officer of ISEC and Acting Chief Executive Officer of ICD, to deliver the opening remarks. Please welcome.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. It's my pleasure to address this session on the FDI. And I would like to also welcome and commend ISDB Cooperation and Capacity Development Department and SIGA for their valuable contribution in convening this session. Our gratitude extends to Aspromo, our counterpart and co-organizer, and to the investment promotion agencies of ISDB member countries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the title of our session, From More FDI to Better FDI, Investment Promotion for Sustainable Development, captures the critical shift in the development thinking. For many years, the success of investment promotion was often measured by the volume of foreign direct investment alone. Today, a more fundamental question is what that investment does for structural transformation, resilience, and inclusion. When we speak of better FDI, we speak of investment that raises productivity, that support diversification beyond narrow commodity basis, and that embeds our firm in national and regional and global production networks, and that align with sustainable development goals and national development priorities. In other words, the task before us is not to increase the flows of capital, but to improve their allocation so that the long-term social and economic returns are materialized. Excellencies, distinguished guests, this discussion takes place at a time when global investment landscape is being reshaped by far-reaching forces, heightened geopolitical tension and conflict, rapid technological change, and worrying decline in investment in key SDG-related sectors. We see FDI becoming more concentrated in few strategic capital-intensive activities, while production networks are reorganized around resilience, security of supply, and global proximity rather than purely around cost. In this rapidly evolving context, the theme of this year's annual meetings, Regional Integration for Sustainable Prosperity, takes on profound significance. It's not merely a slogan, but rather represent an economic strategy designed to address the emerging challenge of our time. As global systems experience fragmentation, the importance of both scale and coordination among our member countries become even more apparent. For our member countries, achieving scale is possible through deeper regional integration by aligning our policies, coordinating our investment narratives, and working collectively to develop robust regional value chains. We can ensure that our economies are not left on the margin of these new global realities. Instead, we can establish ourselves as credible, resilient partner, well-positioned within these emerging configurations. When this product context, investment promotion agencies have moved beyond the traditional function of acting as a marketing entities. They are now emerging as a strategic institution situated at the crossroad of public policy, private investment, and industry value chain. This expanded mandate requires investment promotion agency to develop a deep understanding of investment behaviors and the dynamics of specific sectors. By leveraging this insight, they can translate their knowledge into tangible projects and partnerships. This is why many investment promotion agencies are investing in data capabilities, sector intelligence, digital tools. They are moving from generic promotion to targeted sector strategies, and from ad hoc facilitation to institutionalized aftercare, from reactive problem solving to a proactive ecosystem development. At the same time, many of the challenges investment promotion agencies face cannot be addressed by individual agencies working alone. Information asymmetries, the complexity of regulatory and sustainability standards, and the cross-border nature of investment opportunities all call for collective solutions. This is where institutions such as WIBA and ICDT and platforms like the annual meetings and the private sector forum becomes indispensable. They allow us to pool intelligence, compare institutional models, and co-generate knowledge that no single agency could deliver on its own. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for ISEC and ISDB group-wide group level, this agenda is more closely linked to our mandate. ISEC exists to help de-risk investment and trade in our member countries, mobilize private investment, and support sustainable private sector-led growth. We do this through investment and export credit insurance by sharing risk with partners. But the risk in the narrow financial sense is not sufficient. The deeper challenge is to ensure that these projects we support are anchored in coherent sector strategies, credible national plans, and increasing regional networks. This is why close cooperation among ISDB Group affiliate, WIBA, ICDT, and our network of investment promotion agencies are so important. Where risk mitigation instruments are combined with high-quality project preparation, capacity development, and exchange of knowledge, the result is not a more investment, but investment that is better aligned with long-term development trajectories. It is this combination of financial and non-financial interventions that can turn more FDI to a better FDI. Baku is a fitting setting for this conversation. Azerbaijan sits at a crossroad of regions and economic corridors. And through institutions such as Bromo, it has been working to improve the business climate and deliver and diversify its investment base. Hosting these side events here within the ISDB Group annual meetings and the private sector forum reflect a broader trajectory that many of our member countries aspire to follow. Before I conclude, let me underline that this side event is embedded in a broader opportunity within the ISDB annual meetings and private sector forum. During the private sector forum, a range of activities, including country presentations, thematic sessions, exhibition spaces, and business-to-business meetings also take place. These are spaces where narratives become projects, projects become partnership, and partnership translate into investment flows. I therefore warmly invite all our investment promotion agencies and partners to make full use of these opportunities to present coherent country and sector stories and to listen carefully to investment perspectives and to explore joint initiatives that reflects the principle of better FDI we have to discuss. With these words, I wish you a productive and stimulating session, and I now have the pleasure of handing over to my colleague, Sister May, the Director of Cooperation and Capacity Development Department of ISDB, who will guide you through the panel discussion. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Your Excellency, thank you for your speech. May we now invite His Excellency Mr. Anar Akhundov, Deputy Minister of Economy of the Republic of Azerbaijan, to deliver the opening remarks. Please welcome.
Distinguished guests, dear panelists, first of all, I warmly welcome all of you, and I am very pleased to join this important session. Let me begin by thanking all organizers and partners for bringing together investment promotion leaders, development institutions, policymakers, and business representatives for this timely exchange. The theme of the session, moving from more FDI to better FDI, reflects a major shift in the global investment agenda. For many years, investment promotion was mainly measured by the amount of capital attracted and the number of projects announced. These indicators remain important, but today they are no longer sufficient. The global investment environment is changing. Supply chains are being constantly restructured. Technology is transforming industries. The green transition is creating new sectors as well as the new opportunities. Competition for capital is constant. However, in this new environment, countries are not only competing for more investment, but also for the quality investment. Now, when we say quality investment, we mean consideration of the environmental matters, the investment that assist in technological advancement, and the one of that is creating higher value for investors. We aspire to target more chains within the global or regional value chains and, where possible, consider full-cycle production opportunities. Nevertheless, our motivation remains the same. We target investment that builds local capabilities, supports SMEs, creates quality jobs, and contributes to sustainable growth. Azerbaijan is a great example which perfectly illustrates endless opportunities for shifting to a better FDIs. First of all, the country is already a well-established recipient of FDIs. Over the past 2 decades, more than $350 billion has been invested in our economy, including nearly $170 billion from foreign sources. These investments have played an important role in modernizing infrastructure, strengthening industrial capacity, supporting private sector development, and advancing economic diversification. The reason that such a steady and significant FDIs inflow to the country is the fact that Azerbaijan has strong foundations for this agenda. Our country offers political stability, a resilient economy, and a favorable business environment, a predictable legal framework, a skilled workforce, and a strategic geographic location. These strengths are also recognized internationally. Recent assessments by leading rating agencies confirm Azerbaijan's position as a safe, stable, and attractive destination for investors. At the same time, one of the most important factors shaping investment decisions today is connectivity. For Azerbaijan, connectivity is not only a transport issue, it is an economic development strategy. Located at the crossroad of Europe and Asia, Azerbaijan plays an important role in strengthening east-west connectivity, including through the Middle Corridor. We continue to expand transport, logistics, and trade infrastructure and to develop multimodal connectivity. A key element of this agenda is the Zangezur Corridor, also referred to as a TRIP, the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity. This corridor will further enhance the Middle Corridor and strengthen Azerbaijan's role as a logistics and transit hub linking Europe, Central Asia, and Asia-Pacific markets. At the initial stage, its cargo capacity is estimated around 15 million tons. But not only this relates to the physical goods transportations. There is a massive potential and opportunity for infrastructure initiatives which could be designed to transmit renewable electricity like solar, wind, and hydro from Central Asia and the South Caucasus to European energy markets. It is a well-established fact that Azerbaijan is taking consecutive and effective steps to progress in this direction. For Azerbaijan, the green transition is not only an environmental priority, it is also a major investment opportunity. It's planned that wind and solar power plants projects with a total capacity of 6 gigawatts will be executed by 2030, with this figure expected to reach 8 gigawatts by 2032. Several projects have already been launched, and energy storage solutions are also being explored. In parallel, Azerbaijan is promoting regional green energy connectivity initiatives aimed at linking the South Caucasus and the wider Caspian region with European energy markets, including through the Black Sea and Caspian Green Energy Cable project. These initiatives open opportunities not only in renewable energy generation, but also in transmission infrastructure, equipment manufacturing, engineering, green industrial zones, and related supply chains. Being on the crossroads of the international trade routes creates important opportunities for investment in manufacturing, logistics, storage, processing, trade services, and regional value chains. For that, Azerbaijan is investing in its own world-class infrastructure. The alert-free economic zone is an important part of this vision. Located next to the Baku International Sea Trade Port and strategically positioned along major transport corridors, it offers favorable conditions for export-oriented production, high-valued at manufacturing, logistics services, and technology-based activities. The zone accommodates its own legislative base, which provides exemptions from customs duties and income tax, given the export-oriented nature of the production within the zone. Azerbaijan has also developed a network of industrial zones, including in the liberated areas of the country, that provide modern infrastructure and competitive incentives. These platforms help investors enter the market more quickly and operate more efficiently. Expanding on the issue of the liberated territories, this is where we also see important growth opportunities. The Karabakh and East Zangezur economic regions, where Azerbaijan's largest restoration and reconstruction program is underway. Modern state-funded infrastructure, reliable connectivity, and investment incentives create new opportunities for private sector participation. Another region of Azerbaijan where we have significant growth potential is Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic, where since 1st January 2026, similar 10-year tax exemptions have also been applied. This region's strategic location has a land border access to the three neighbors of Azerbaijan, Turkey, Iran, and Armenia. And enhanced FDI inflow also requires effective state support mechanisms. In recent years, Azerbaijan has continued to improve its investment ecosystem through tax and custom incentives, public-private partnership mechanisms, export promotion tools, concessional financing, and targeted support for internship. The recent decrees signed by President Ilham Aliyev further strengthens this direction. There were measures adopted to stimulate non-oil and gas exports and support transportation costs, which will help exporters access new market and improve the competitiveness of Azerbaijani products. At the same time, the improvement of credit guarantee and interest subsidy mechanisms will expand access to finance for business, particularly in the regions. Together, these measures are aimed at helping business grow, export, invest, innovate, and integrate more active into value change. At the same time, national support measures are most effective when they are connected with international experience, financing instruments, and institutional partnership. As investment becomes more complex and more competitive, cooperation between governments, development institutions, investment promotion agencies, and the business community becomes increasingly important. In this regard, the ISDB group plays a valuable role in supporting private sector development, trade finance, investment insurance, infrastructure and capacity building across member countries. Azerbaijan, a member of ISDB since 1992, has also benefited from more than $1 billion of loan allocated. So today's discussion is very timely and of practical importance. It gives us an opportunity to exchange experience on how to attract investment that supports real development outcomes. Competitiveness, resilience, diversification, innovation, employment, and sustainable growth. These are precisely the qualities that define the next generation of investment promotion. Our task is not only to increase investment flows, but to ensure that each investment creates lasting and enhanced value for our economies and societies. I am confident that today's discussion will provide practical insights and useful recommendations for Azerbaijan and for our partner countries. I wish the panel a productive discussion. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you for your speech. As His Excellency Dr. Khalid Khalafallah mentioned, it's now time to invite our moderator for this session, Ms. May Ali Babikar, Director, Cooperation and Capacity Development Department of the Islamic Development Bank. Please welcome.
Thank you. A very good afternoon for everyone. I know it's not easy to have a session in the afternoon after everybody's stomach is full, but we promise you that this one is going to be an engaging one and you are going to benefit from the discussion that we're going to have. So just after hearing from Dr. Khalid Khalafallah and hearing from His Excellency Deputy Minister, I think this sets the stage for a very distinguished panel that is going to be taking you through country perspective, regional perspective, and global perspective when it comes to how we can move from more FDI to better FDI. So I would like to welcome our first panelist, Mr. Ismail Ershihan, who is the CEO of WIPA. He will be bringing a global perspective on how IPAs are adapting their strategies and collaborating worldwide. Mr. Ismail. Also, we have Mr. Yusuf Abdullayev, who is the Executive Director of the Export and Investment Promotion Agency of Azerbaijan, our counterpart and key partner. Thank you. He will be sharing insights from Azerbaijan's investment ecosystem and its efforts to support private sector growth. We have our panelist from Senegal, Mr. Bakary Sega Bachili, who is the Managing Director of the National Agency of the Promotion of Investment and Major Works of Senegal, who will be sharing with us a country experience in reforming investment promotion and supporting regional integration. And last but not least, our key sister and partner, Mrs. Latifa El Abdullahi, Director General of ICDT, who will be bringing the OIC-wide perspective on trade, investment, and capacity development support to our member countries. And later on, we will be joined by Mr. Mohammed Tariq Bashir, who is the Director General of Treasury and External Financing in the Kingdom of Morocco, who will be contributing to the discussion. Thank you. So we are going to, can you hear me? Is it working? Yeah, okay. So the objective of our session today is going to be first, reflecting on how investment promotion can move effectively and support structural transformation, jobs, and resilience in the current global context. And the second objective will be about how we can identify specific areas where the ISDB group, IPAs, and development partners can strengthen collaboration, particularly in capacity development and joint promotion of investment opportunities. So with that, I will start my first question. It will be to Mr. Ismail. And from your perspective at WIPA, how are you leading IPAs around the world to redefine their strategies and to move from simply attracting more FDI to pursuing better FDI.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure, Sister Mai, to be here with you and with all the colleagues around. And of course, it's always great to be in Baku. And saying that, I should also congratulate Promo and Mr. Yusuf Abdullayev for taking part in our steering committee. They've been recently elected, so I think they deserve a round of applause, right? So we said that we are going to do an engaging discussion today. So let's try to understand, let's try to see what the audience understands from good FDI. What is good FDI? What is good investment? Is there anyone who would like to answer to this? What do we mean by better FDI, by good FDI? Good FDI, let me make it very quick and straight. Good FDI is the FDI or investment which adds value to the country and in the same time who does not harm the values of the country. I think it should be as simple as that. But when you go to the deeper understanding, to the deeper, let's say, definition of that, good FDI and adding value requires a lot of effort. It cannot be only by being somehow reasonable or by just friendly with the environment, but it also requires by creating jobs, but not any jobs, but decent jobs. That the job environment is also good and engaging. It also requires the investor not to just the entire soil to bring it somewhere else, but also refine the material that they've been extracting from the country, for example, which helps to transfer the technology to those that are need, is also required to secure an added valued investments. And what does that mean to harm the values? Very obviously, harms the environment, harms the social system, social economic system, all goes along. So we do see that investment promotion agencies, such as Promo, such as APIX, such as BOI Pakistan, I'm glad to see our colleague as well, DG Lal here, and other colleagues as well. IPAs are quite critically located to secure this added valued FDI to come to the country. They can understand what the investors are expecting, and they can prioritize what the state somehow is targeting or strategizing. So they can balance the two things. They are supposed to speak both languages, the language of the private sector, but also the language of the bureaucracy, of the traditional bureaucracy. So they should be combining the two forces. In addition to that, they should not only promote, but also to facilitate, to be together with the investor during the entire life cycle of the investment. And advocacy as the latest part, to be able not to only help only one single investor, but also provide the government with the tools and materials and maybe the feedbacks from the ground, from the private sector, in order to create more investable, more business-friendly investment environment. However, we also do see that many investors are not aware of the opportunities that the IPAs are somehow offering to them. Or maybe some of the IPAs are not yet at the level to be able to connect with the investors or to connect them or to deliver what they have promised to them as well. But I think that's rather the second part of the discussion. But for the time being, I do believe that the good investment can be achieved, but for that you need strong teams who understand what are the expectations and what are the qualifications or the assets that the country has.
Thank you very much. Going from the global level and what we mean by good FDI and better FDI, I will come to a country level, then we'll go into another country, then we'll come to the OIC level. So, Mr. Yusuf, if you can take us through how has Azerbaijan investment ecosystem evolved in the recent years, especially in terms of supporting high-value SDG-aligned investment. And we have heard a lot about how Azerbaijan has been supporting the private sector and also how the angle of SDGs and the angle of the climate-friendly initiatives. So if you can take us through that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Mai, for this question. And of course, it's a great pleasure, as you said, that it's a little bit tough and complicated to make the session late afternoon, but I'm still hungry. And so that's why I think, yeah. Actually, if you carefully listen to the speech of His Excellency, Deputy Minister of Economy, Mr. Anarakhondov, actually he gave a broad information about what's happening in Azerbaijan for the last 2 decades in terms of creating infrastructure, in terms of creating the sector's opportunities, the aura where the investors can benefit and feel themselves like in a very good and predictable environment. I think it's very important what we achieved as the country for the last 2, even 3 decades. If you look at the numbers for the last 2 decades, we attracted more than $350 billion investment. Half of them is the foreign direct investment. Of course, a large chunk of this amount, it comes for oil and gas, but still one of the main priority of the government is the diversification, diversify economy, and changing from oil and gas to non-oil and gas economy. By the way, the share of non-oil economy within the GDP, the more than 70%, and it's increasing and increasing. And I think that we, as the country, as the government, is doing very well. Actually, my brother Ismail has just mentioned the role of IPAs. I think it's very crucial, the role of IPAs, but I think we should start with the some kind of acknowledgement in order to help the people, in order to help the investors. We as Aspromo have 2 mandates. We're also promoting non-oil and gas export of the country. And that's why, in order to be close to the business community, you must have some kind of acknowledgement within your country, with this undeniable reputation as the single window within the country. You cannot act as the agency or whatever you call it, with uncontested mandate for investors and for exporters. Thanks to God, we could manage it, and Aspromo has been created back in 2003 as a foundation, but if you look at the structure of Aspromo, in 2021 we transformed it from foundation to the government agency. We're operating under the umbrella of the Ministry of Economy, and of course one of the main objective is the attraction of foreign direct investment to the country. Of course, we also serve definitely as the single window for investors. And actually, I forgot to mention that our third direction of a third part of the responsibility is the organizing of the numerous events, roundtables, forums. So that's why we're partnering with you, with the esteemed colleagues from ISDB. By the way, I'm taking this opportunity, would like to thank all of you, Sistema, you, your department, and our His Excellency Dr. Khalid, and other, of course. I can't see Sahal. Sahal is very helpful, and so he's here. Yeah, at the back, always sitting in the back. Sahal, thank you very much. I'm taking this opportunity to thank all of you for helping us to organize, to bring once more to the attention to the broad audience, almost 60 countries, members countries of ISDB group, what's happening in Azerbaijan and what's the opportunities for investors in Azerbaijan. We've been the part of co-organizing of a private sector forum, and so this is the continuation of the sessions within the private sector forum. And this kind of event organizing gives us acknowledgement that everybody in Azerbaijan knows what Aspromo is. So this is very important because in some cases, and being the part of the big family of VIPA, and Ismail, thank you very much for pushing us and making third time in a row regional director for Central Asia. We've been recently elected, and the next week on 25th we have a steering committee in Geneva. Inshallah, I do believe that we will meet there. Of course, this acknowledgement is very important. And as I've said, the government has created this opportunity for this agency within the Ministry of Economy to be the real single window for investors, and as I've said, for our second directions for exporters. But I've already mentioned, as His Excellency Deputy Minister Akhundov has already mentioned, the whole infrastructure and what's the division of the president and what's the government has done for last 2 decades. There are very important areas where we would like to see more and more investors. Of course, our first priority, and during opening the session, His Excellency President has mentioned it, is our liberated territories in the Karabakh, and of course we are very happy that today we witnessed the signing ceremony of the project, the water project in Karabakh with the help of ISDB group. I think it's very crucial, and of course we spent almost 17 billion US dollars within that region for last 5 years, and we think that there are more and more, of course, to be done in that region, but we do believe that as the agency, as the Minister of Economy, and as the entire government, we would do our best to see more and more investment in that region. As I've said, it's very important, acknowledgement and deniable reputation. What said Ismail, that so investors can approach to you, can ask the advisors and just know you, that you can help, and of course being well connected, being the umbrella of the Ministry of Economy, is giving out another, like, some kind of authority to help foreign, not only foreign, but also the local investors and our exporters.
Thank you very much, and it's interesting the structure of the IPA and how it is having the mandate not only of investment promotion but also on the non-oil related, which is really a very unique feature, and would like to hear more about it. Now we moved from Azerbaijan to Africa, Senegal, and Bakari, if you can share with us for Apex, Senegal has been recognized for being one of Africa's most innovative IPAs, and would like you to share with us how Senegal has moved from strategy from focusing only on attracting FDI into prioritizing investment that is for the benefit of all. If you can share with us, and you might speak in French, there is interpretation.
I'm gonna try to express in French. It's better for me because this debate, first of all, thank you for the invitation to participate at this platform, at this panel with the high quality of panelists. It's very important, and the debate, this debate is accurate, it's timeline. It's my first time at Azerbaijan. I think I will come back, not as a CEO of Apex, but as tourist, because it's very peaceful. I like it, and it's very, very nice city. Le débat sur
the conversation on the quantity or the quality of investments is not really theoretical. It is extremely strategic in our countries, especially in African countries. With a population of about 70% who are under 25 years of age, that is an active population that needs employment, that needs income, and faced with these structural constraints, it is extremely important to consider that the amount of the investment only is not enough as an indicator, to be an indicator to determine the investment strategy. If the investment cannot create employment or jobs, create value, if investments cannot create the what we call the local content and be a driver for the local ecosystem, this investment will not transform our economy quickly, because the theme here is the quality of investment to have an impact over the economy. And Dr. Khalil said so in his contribution, in his statement. It is important to bear this in mind. And this is what was understood by Senegal. And the switch referred to is along with the new vision of Senegal, because we noticed during the last 20 years that Africa as a whole, in Senegal in particular, that we invested in infrastructure because we were lagging behind in terms of infrastructure. And these delays should be taken on board and should not be neglected. But in face of these constraints and this infrastructure that is built on the basis of indebtedness, what can be done and can be sustainable? In some countries, we unfortunately noticed that not only investment, but only the capital, the know-how, and even the labor are brought in. Therefore, what would be left to the country in terms of a structural return on investment that will enable the country to have a sustainable or resilience? Because if you import everything, since you do not have the resources, but you do have the raw materials, but based on this observation, we crafted a strategy by identifying key sectors and offering investors investment platforms. The first one was the reform of the new bill on investment, that is the single and only document on private investment in Senegal. It governs the investment policy. The APIX also has become the only interface and interlocutor, and it intervenes in 5 sectors. It is the Investment Promotion Agency of Senegal, and it is in charge with the investment policies. We ensure when we serve as a secretariat, so we support the private sector, we ensure the coordination with the administrations, and we ensure also the investment promotion, prospection of investors, and also services to investors. We also ensure the management of these special economic areas. And for the government of Senegal also, we ensure the coordination of the big works, such as the highways, sorry. And this is more or less the role of the Senegalese API, and then we enlarged, we broadened our scope. We started with 100 million of CFA francs, and then we dropped it down to 15 in order to include the youth and women. We also added 3 additional reforms, the strategic reforms that are linked to the key sectors that are the drivers for economy. Agribusiness today, the private sector or the private investment are not always attracted by this sector. We are energy as well as another sector, industry, which employs much more labor than other sectors. These are the basic sectors that have been focused on by Senegal, and this is where we attract investors. We also included the socially responsible, what we call socially responsible sectors. You have in some areas some deficits in terms of health, education, and then what we do is that we give more advantages. when it comes to investment, and also more advantages for those who use local, what we call the local context, that is the local labor and resources. And Senegal subsidizes 100% those who employ local labor. This is what is expected in terms of private investment. With the reform of this bill, with this code, we also developed the investment platforms. We have two offers when it comes to exports. We have 18 million inhabitants. So we consider that if you invest in Senegal, this would be the natural gateway to Western Africa with 100 million consumers. So you would be investing in a strategic manner. And the third point is that is about the private sector. As I said, agro-industry, extractive industries, manufacturing and digital economy that have become a very important sector. Thank you.
Got it right. So you are also responsible for the special economic zones? Okay, okay. And in addition to the political reforms and the investment promotion, and also the CSR, you are doing also the corporate social responsibility.
Exactly. Five area of intervention.
Interesting mandate.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we go back to the bigger picture of the OIC with Madame Latifa. And just wanted to ask you that ICDT had a broad view of trade investment across our OIC member countries. So from that perspective, what gaps or patterns do you see in the way countries use IPAs to support trade and investment within the OIC?
Thank you, Sister Mai, for having me, and thank you to IDB Group for joining ICDT to its activity, and thank you also for all cooperation programs we have together. I will switch to French, like my brother from Senegal.
For ICDT, the member countries of the OIC have a very large potential when it comes to investment. Almost all member states have comparative advantages that are very good. They have strategic geographic locations, natural resources, human resources, as mentioned my colleague here. They also have sectoral strategies. However, the investment potential is not translated into real opportunities. So there are so many challenges that have to be taken into consideration. One of them, maybe it was not mentioned, but it is a reality, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. It is the lack of bankable projects. There is a great potential. It is enormous. It is very difficult to estimate it, to measure it, but we don't have enough bankable projects. Today, investors, MDBs, private investors, development agencies require bankable projects. They need to see the financial projections. They need to see the risk analysis, the impact, the development impact of their investments, but we don't have that. And this is one of the greatest challenges faced in many countries in Africa. Maybe not in Senegal, but other African countries do have these problems. And our role is to identify the project, support it, prepare the investment files, and also do some aftercare.
Please,
Okay.
thank you.
So I was saying that they have a role to play in these investments, but they don't have the technical and financial means to do that. And this is where the ICDT comes in partnership with institutions like yours and departments like yours, like CCD. We can provide this support in a more direct manner to help them right from the start of their activities, especially through translating the potential into a bankable project. One of the tools that we have been trying to implement is the establishment of revolving funds. These aim to make available a replenishable financing indefinitely, to which will help the investment agencies to do the feasibility studies, help investors and do promotion, and also do what is called aftercare for investors. This is a new concept that is being implemented. We have already started piloting with Mauritania. We have reached an advanced stage to establish this revolving fund. This concept meets the needs and expectations of all investors. This is also a means to translate the potential into bankable projects. So it is all about making available permanent and sufficient financial resources to conduct the feasibility studies, market studies, and the mobilization of experts for MDBs. It is also a means to make available a project pipeline that can be supported or financed for investors. It is a means to provide bankable projects, concrete ones that can be financed and implemented in the field. For governments, it is also a tool to translate opportunities into real investment opportunities, and also to create jobs, create value, boost exports, etc. So the project is being implemented in Mauritania. We are also discussing it with 3 other countries. We are partnering with the ISDB, and we are trying to expand the partnership to other partners in the region, such as the AFDB and PADIA, which will help us in this process. The other issue when it comes to the investment promotion agencies in the region, it relates to the promotion of products and projects. Today, we cannot promote a project or market a project in isolation from the ecosystem. The director of APIX has already explained this very well. We cannot market a product in a country. We have to market the entire ecosystem, and we have to talk about the rules, the laws, imports, exports. So investment promotion agencies must promote and market the entire ecosystem, not just projects or products. Also, I would like to add regional promotion and regional cooperation. We cannot talk about the promotion of one single country. We can talk about some niche products, but we cannot promote a country in isolation from its immediate regional environment. This is not possible, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. You may notice that I have been focusing on sub-Saharan Africa. This is because it is the region that most needs our support. For example, let's talk about meat, about beef. This is a sector that is very developed in the Sahel region. We cannot talk about it to an investor and extract them if we do not talk about the entire region. We have to talk about 3 or 5 countries. We can talk about, I have already spoken about this, and also Smail has already done that in other conferences. We have to do that not in isolation. So for us, what is important is that there is potential for partnerships for the ICDT, for the ISDB, and other investment promotion agencies. Let us join our efforts to make progress on these determining 3 aspects.
Latifa, and now with the first part of questions, we spoke about globally what is the situation at the regional level, at the country level. Now this second round and last round is going to be focusing on key lesson learned, key tools that you would like to share with us. So I will start with Mr. Youssef on the recent initiative that have most improved the investment facilitation and the aftercare in Azerbaijan. So can you take us about what are the lessons that you have learned from this experience?
Thank you very much. As I've said, Mr. Anar Akhundov, Deputy Minister, unfortunately, he hasn't left anything to explore, but still, if you, of course, listen to him carefully. But still, I think what now we are doing in Azerbaijan, we are promoting our country as the hub, as the maybe not the regional, maybe international hub. If you look at the map, you see that Azerbaijan is situated between the east and west. And if you see what's happening in surroundings, unfortunately, the wars, the fragmentations, and other issues, but still, we as the country, we could manage to do our best to keep this balance, in terms of course, policy making and politics making. The President, His Excellency, I think one of the key pillar, what, let's say, we've learned for all what's happening around, it's a stable economy and a stable country. If you don't have a stable political system, if you don't have a stable economy, of course, you cannot no long believe to that investors can come to your country, invest into your country. So the security-wise, the stable-wise, it's very important. And I think what we've achieved for the last 2 decades, of course, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our landmark project, Alat Free Economic Zone, in terms of our industrial zones, in terms of our liberation of Karabakh region. By the way, Karabakh is announced an absolutely free tax region for 10 years. We have an exclave Autonomous Republic of Nakhchivan, was also announced a free absolutely tax incentives place Autonomous Republic for foreign and local investors. I think that we as the IPA, TPO, all generally saying as the agency which is the promoting the country, we should promote it. Of course, we are biased. We're Azerbaijani. We always say that it's the best place to live, invest, and to work. But still, what we see in the countries, in other countries, I think all of you, you're traveling, you see unfortunately the problems. I don't want to go into details what kind of problems. I think you understand what I'm talking about. But still, I think we managed to keep it balanced in terms of making politics and to keep it very important, stable. By the way, just a little announcement about, maybe some of you know that we organized last year the first Azerbaijan International Investment Forum. For this year, we are in the process of organizing a second edition of that forum on the same exact dates which we will have a Formula One Grand Prix in Baku, on 25th and 26th of September, because this sport politics, international event politics also helped us to be vocal and to make a sound about the countries that is the very good and attractive destination. Yes, of course. There will be free tickets, there will be free accommodations for our friends, and of course, you are very welcome, and we, of course, would like to invite all of you. I already invited my brother Ismail, and actually he accepted yesterday my invitation that he would definitely would participate, actually participated at the first edition. Now he wouldn't participate in the second edition. I think at that forum and other events, we are showcasing what we achieved as the country. And as I've said, it's a very important in these circumstances, in this geography, because the geography is the destiny. You cannot change your place on the map. I mean, it's very, very important to keep it very balanced and to keep it very stable. But down to the earth, I absolutely agree with Madame Latifa that I think we can see everywhere that the lack of the bankable projects, it's the main issue for any country. I mean, when you talk to the investor, they say, tell me what, tell me why, and tell me where. And of course, when you speak in a generally, of course, it helps, but the bankable project, the more you have bankable projects, of course, more you can attract investors all around the globe. But as I've said, once again, I'm biased, but still I think that Azerbaijan is, despite all the surroundings problems, I think that Azerbaijan still managed, the leadership of Azerbaijan, to make it very favorable climate for investors to come to invest, to live, grow kids, live the family. I think it's one of the best places in the world. Thank you.
Now I will ask Senegal just to talk about how does APEX engage with regional and international partners to promote investment that is strengthening regional value chains, and also engaging in terms of having more broader development impact.
I believe that Senegal has now become a small market, but we belong to three economic zones. There is the West African Monetary Union, and there is also another market which is ECOWAS, with 400 million consumers, and the Africa Free Trade Zone with more than 1 billion people, and there is also the OIC with 57 member states, which will have a major impact. This is what Senegal is offering. It belongs to ecosystems that are favorable to investment, and we are also the permanent secretaries of IPAWAS. It is an association of investment promotion agencies in West Africa. Imagine, for example, a Gulf investor who wants to start investing in West Africa. They will find out that the value chain is coherent. We are not competing with one another. The investment promotion agencies in West Africa do not compete with one another. They cooperate. They complete one another's efforts. So Senegal is ready to host and welcome investors who want to start investing in West Africa and integrate the value chain. And we now have a deep sea port which is being built in order to contribute to the economic development of these countries, and to help investors who want to reach markets in Africa and Europe and even the United States.
Can think about the kind of capacity development or advisory program that can ICDT, WIPA, and ISDB group together with the IPAs that we can translate moving from FDI to better FDI. If you can just give us your insights on that.
Merci, Maï.
Thank you, Mai, for this crucial question. We absolutely need to stop talking and move to action with concrete actions. For me, as far as I'm concerned, promoting investment needs a strong IPA. The IPA is the promotion arm of any country. If we cannot do so, if this arm is not strong, we need to reinforce and consolidate the IPAs. First, finance-wise, where they need money. Who's going to carry out these projects with no money? So we need to have enhanced and consolidated, strengthened APIs in order for them to be able to have bankable projects. This is very important. We cannot do without them. It is true that we will have the J2G investments and major projects. But where is the private sector? Where does the private sector stand here? And the second important element is regional integration. This is inescapable. These are countries that have 2 million, 3 million, 4 million inhabitants and are not able to attract investors. Neither do they attract development banks. If I give the example of the region, for instance, we can organize ourselves around sector-based regional hubs. We can imagine a regional hub in Mauritania, for instance, an agri-business hub in Senegal, for instance, and a regional approach actually in order for them to interest you, to attract you, because they need to have a capacity. Less than $40 million, for instance, is not interesting for any bank. Therefore, we need to have regional hubs. And the third element, as I said, is the ecosystem for the investor to be interested in any country. The ecosystem should be competitive. You cannot go and invest in a sector without knowing what is going to happen. So while financially reinforcing the strong APIs, and we did so. We have a good example, a success story about this. This is a win-win experience. In regional integration, once again, this is important, and ecosystem in order to make sure that any investment is reliable and sustainable. This is what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I thought you forgot me, but I can understand, but I can. Mon français est terrible. Mon français est terrible. Je voudrais parler français, mais
My French is terrible. I would have loved to speak in French.
what I was saying is, listening all the answers, it somehow blurs new ideas, right? So I don't want to be too much sticked on what we've been somehow agreed on. But they used to ask me why IPAs were supposed to be a member of an association. Why would they collaborate? They are supposed to compete. Yes? But now we are facing lots of challenges in the world. We understand that they should collaborate. We now talk about how important is regional collaboration. So IPAs should be in a position to support each other's strengths in order to be stronger in their region, to be more attractive. Because if the region is attractive, we were discussing about this yesterday with Mr. Yusuf, the region is more attractive, the country is getting more attractive. So this is inevitable. Partnership, collaboration is inevitable for sure. And we strongly support, as WIPA partners, the regional collaboration through different associations in the regions as well. In addition to that, as I was mentioning during my previous answer, the investors should know more about investment promotion agencies too. Because many investors, they are not aware of the existence and also the opportunities that the IPAs can provide them with. So we should be providing them with the platforms at our institutions. For example, at WIPA, we have established a business advisory board together with Intel, Medtronic, DP World, in order to understand what are the expectations of the private sector. IPAs are established to support private sector.
Please, we are in one meeting, please.
We have young people, young mean energy, young mean interaction. So we are having engagement from the audience. Thank you, guys, for the engagement. So what I was saying is, well, this engagement, this interaction between the IPAs and the private sector is key. We have established a business advisory board, and we are also allowing World Investment Conference to be a platform where IPAs meet with investors, and we are not inviting IPAs anymore. We are inviting investors. If they are coming, then IPAs will follow to meet with the investors. So this platform is becoming something like that. So investors if they also receive more added valued services from the IPAs, it is going to be easier for them to invest. It is going to help countries to attract investments if we can ever put IPAs in a more prominent role. In some cases, IPAs, they make promotion, but they are not able to deliver because of lack of autonomy, maybe, because they are not provided with the power and strength of decision making, or not strength among the policymakers. They should be provided with that. We do see that if IPAs are attached to the higher authorities, they are more stronger. They can make the things work. They can deliver the results as they've promised in the first place to the private sector. So this engagement also requires inner collaboration, as I was saying. So, well, IPAs can prepare investable projects. This is something that we are also promoting at WIPO a lot. I strongly agree with Sister Latifa on that, and we should be working more on that. Investors are looking for bankable projects, and we should help IPAs to create those pipelines of projects. But we should also be in a position to help them sell it. And at the World Investment Conference this year in Geneva, not as an advertisement, in Geneva in November, from 10 to 12 November in Geneva, during the 30th World Investment Conference, investors, if we have any among us, investors will have the opportunity to meet with 120 plus countries and their investable projects, hopefully. So this is an open invitation. We are open to provide our platforms for investors to meet with opportunities and IPAs to meet with potential leads. We do it professionally, Sister May. It's not like, okay, it's like a random call or cold calls and who's going to meet with someone. No, targeted. Investors are defined with which countries they are potentially interested. IPAs are connected, how many meetings they are planning to make, and in some private rooms, it's not like trade, as you know, it should be some privacy is required. In the private rooms, they meet with the potential investors. If the pilot works well at the World Investment Conference in Geneva from 10 to 12 November, you're all invited. More editions will follow. And altogether, I would like to include, if I may, ISTB in it as well, ICDT, and all the other international organizations. Create platforms. AFC, FDI is also here. Rosalind, thanks for joining. And altogether, we should combine forces, not only to create projects, which is a great thing, but also to start selling those projects at our platforms. I think that's the key to success. Capacity building, technical assistance, those are great. Like experience sharing is also fantastic. This is our objectives. We do those. We have been doing those. But at some point, we should also look into this exact delivery of the investments itself by the lead generation, by bankable projects, by really touching into the private sector community, reaching out to them, to let them know that these guys are here to help, to support, and of course, in parallel, also to strengthen IPAs to be able to deliver what is asked from them. Sorry if it was too long.
No, thank you very much. We just have an intervention from Morocco, from DG Mohammed. If you can join us to share the perspective of Morocco, that would be the last intervention. You can come to the podium. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, before your intervention, I just, like using my local rights, would like to invite all of you, the beautiful part of invitation to the dinner at 7 p.m. And of course, using this opportunity to say thank you to all of you for the participation. And merci beaucoup, Monsieur Bakari, Madame Latifa, pour votre français. Je pense que moi et Ismaël sont pratiqués notre français. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, Mrs. the moderator. I am very happy to be here in Baku. We are glad to attend the annual meeting of this important financial institution. Given the French was the star of this panel, I will switch in French if you accept. Par rapport à votre question,
With regards to your question, and when it comes to Morocco, investments in Morocco, allow me to tell you that under the vision of His Majesty the King is witnessing a very important economic momentum through in-depth reforms. Morocco is building an economic development model that is very particular to the country. And the key factors of the success of this model, why Morocco at the economic level becomes an emerging country. I can mention three key factors to the sectors, three drivers for this success. Why Morocco is witnessing a structural economic transformation. The first key factor is the preservation of its macroeconomic balances. The second key factor is the opening to an economic opening and integration into international economy, which is well reflected on. And the third factor is the pursuit of structural reforms, sector-based policies, and structural reforms that are very important. So the first key factor is the preservation of the key macroeconomic factor. Morocco is a very has an investment grade, which is an international economic distinction. And in this international difficult context with geopolitical tensions, to have investment grades in this context, as I said, it means that the economic fundamentals are robust. And the institutions also are robust. The political, the budgetary institutions are solid, are robust, and there is a vision, there is visibility. We have crystal clear objectives over the 30 coming years. Morocco at the international level will be organizing the World Cup. In 2030, we are experiencing the current World Cup, but in 4 years, Morocco will be hosting the next World Cup with Portugal and Spain. This is another concrete example of regional integration. Now, again, on the macroeconomic framework, as I said, we are witnessing a very important momentum in this respect. I can give you some figures that would testify this robust economic figures. So we have an economic growth of more than 5%. Morocco is not an oil-producing country or gas-producing country, but thanks to the major structural reforms, Morocco is making huge paces of economic growth. We are doing so because Morocco is doing extraordinary things. Morocco is the first tourist destination in Africa. We received 20 million tourists in 2025 with earnings of around $40 million. When it comes to industry investment, when it comes to industry, as I said, Morocco also is the first industrial power in Africa. In the sector of automobile and earnings that go beyond $16 billion. These are macroeconomic figures that are very robust and that testify this or are the evidence of the structural reform. So the foundations are being consolidated. The IMF reports also focus on the fundamental achievements made by the national economy. In addition to the economic growth, Morocco has also credible monetary policies. we have an inflation that does not exceed 1%, which gives visibility to investors. The fact of having a very low inflation rate, this gives you more visibility. If we take the time curve in Morocco, and this is of interest to investors over 30 years, for instance, if we travel through the time, we can have to move from 1.3 to 5 to 1.3%, which means that you can borrow money over 30 years. That there is trust and confidence in the future. The other key factor to success is the regional integration, especially with Africa. We carry out we make of South-South cooperation a very important lever of economic lever. Morocco intervenes in the fields and the sectors of telecoms. The banking sector is located in 30 African countries as well. The third factor or driver to success has to do with the structural reforms, especially in terms of social protection and investment. Social protection, because you cannot have investment without the human resource, and thanks to a major project on social protection, 90% of the population today have health coverage, health insurance, which is a factor of inclusion. We are making inclusive growth, and this enables the population to have health coverage, and this improves their style life and their lives in general. And the other, as I said, we have social protection, and let me add something about and this affects 2.3% of the GDP to finance social protection, which represents something like $4 billion. The second key aspect is investment, and to encourage investment, we have two pillars. We have investment charter, and we also established the Mohammed VI fund for investment, and this charter has been crafted in order to encourage private investment within the Moroccan territory, and the second element, as I said, is the Mohammed VI investment fund that would represent something like $6 billion in order to encourage the private sector and to make sure that the public money is a driver for the promotion of private investment. And lastly, what we can retain in terms of lessons, this long-term vision, the roadmap, we need to have robust and clear-cut choices, options, and we need to have a macroeconomic and stable macroeconomic framework, because finance and investment require to have a stable macroeconomic framework and in order to give more visibility on the long term to investors. Thank you.
Okay, with this, we are ending our discussion today. We started by, will we be able to remain energized and listen to the discussion? And mashallah, we are at our speed now. Everybody is engaged, and thank you very much for everyone who has contributed to the discussion. And please, let's just walk out of this room with the understanding that we need to do more FDI, but we want better FDI for the benefit of our countries, our communities, and the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our esteemed moderator and dear panelists. Please stand for a group photo. And also, before we proceed to startup and pitch competition award ceremony, we would like to inform you that tomorrow we'll start with country presentations. Thank you. And I'm very pleased to welcome my esteemed colleague Usama Khojalit. Please welcome.
Hello? Hello? Ladies and gentlemen, would like to start now. Uh, dear brother Sahel, coming? Yes. Would like coming? Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We will be honored today and celebrate